Hey everyone, Shaedow here, and welcome to another Marvel Contest of Champions video. So in this video, I'm going to show you guys how I grind Arena, how I build up the infinite streak, and how I avoid getting death matches in this new post-rank 5-star era. Okay? But first, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at my masteries. I'm not going to go through these in any kind of detail. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment below and I'll try to answer your questions best I can. As you can see, I'm running full suicides. I always do that when I'm going for champions and I'm trying to get as many milestones as I can. Now we are in the off season right now, so it's not as big of a deal for Alliance War. But I still took off the suicides, placed my champions, and turned them back on for this grind. That gets expensive, of course, but it is what it is. Alright, and you can see my defense here. Max out willpower and coagulate. And this pretty much stays the same whether I switch in or out of suicides. Alright. So let's start the grind. Alright, so first off, I want to go for this Gladiator Hulk. Alright, so that's, I can use my 3 stars and my 4 stars there. And I also want to get as many milestones as I can, possibly the last milestone as well, but I want to go for 2005k shards. Alright, so my 5-star champions and my 6-star champions have the longest cooldown. Alright, and as you can see, I cannot use my 5 or 6 stars in this arena. So what I do is I start with this arena here. Okay, now I do not start off with my big guys first because I want to build up that multiplier. So what I will do is go to my 4 stars, sort them, and just go with the lowest of my 4 stars just to get up to win streak 5. Okay, and that's going to be pretty much it. Nothing special here. You guys can choose however you like, but this is how I do it. So I'm going to speed up the rest of these fights, at least until win streak 5, because I don't think anybody wants to just see me grind Arena in real time on this video. We'll save that kind of thing for a live stream when I do finally start doing live streams. But I'm actually doing all of this fighting and recording on my iPad, and the load times are crazy fast compared to what I was used to. I was running on an iPhone 5S, and that iPhone 5S was fast compared to my Galaxy S5 Android device. It was a game changer for me. I actually became an arena grinder when I switched to that iPhone 5S. And now, compared to the iPhone 5S, this is crazy. And you will get a chance to see the load times in real time. I don't speed up all of the fights. And that's it for my low-level 4 stars. They served their purpose, and their purpose was to get me to win streak 5. I will never again use them in this arena unless I lose my streak. So I switch over to my 5 stars, and how I do it is I start at the bottom. Now, this can be dangerous depending on your roster. Now, the only time I do this is when I am building my streak right here. Alright, so these guys are rank 1, level 25. And the only time I will choose all 3 rank 1 level 25 in this arena is right now when I'm building the streak. Once I'm on the streak, I will never again do that. I will always do what's called sandbagging, meaning I will take two rank 2 or higher and then choose one of them. Now this guy here was my lowest prestige 5-star, and so I ranked him to rank 2 to avoid getting deathmatched, because he got me deathmatched twice. And so I tried to get everyone that was getting me a deathmatch to rank 2. Now I'm good. But again, once I'm on the streak, I don't do this. Okay, I have teams that I like to put together that have some synergies, and I don't get deathmatched anymore. Alright, so if you want to be super safe, don't choose all 3 rank 125 champions. Some of them you can get away with if their prestige is high enough, but I wouldn't risk it. Instead, wait and choose your rank 3 or 4 and put a rank 1 with it. You can also do a rank 2, rank 1, rank 3, but just mix and match and play around and see what works for you. Now, something I did want to mention, all of my rank 1s are max level. Now, you might be waiting for a level up event like I often do. If you're doing that and you have a rank 1, level 1 5-star, even when you're building up the streak, sandbag. Don't choose all 3 of them, because you run the risk of getting a deathmatch even at this early stage. So you saw that I chose a little bit differently there, and I went for a little synergy. It's not necessary. I just did that because I like fighting with these 3 together for no real good reason. So you guys can keep doing the lower ones, working your way up, and not worrying about synergies if you'd like to. Just something that I try to do every time. I try to choose the same teams. So let's go ahead and speed this up some more until we get to win streak 8. That's the next breakpoint where I deviate. Okay, so now at win streak 8, what I will try to do is choose a team that I'm comfortable with, that I know I can, do some pretty good work with. Now Sentinel is new, so I'm going to throw him in there, and we'll go Cable, and we'll do Luke Cage. That should be a decent team there. As you can see, they're starting to ramp up. See, I've got a 6-star in this first matchup here. So after this one, I'm going to start being a little bit more selective and choosing some of my top champions. So right now, I'm just thinking, who do I want to fight with who? And Luke Cage does pretty good against Gwenpool, even though it would be a class disadvantage, and the other guys should be fine. Really doesn't matter, honestly, at this point, but I like to give myself as much of an advantage as I can. Why make it even harder for myself? Now, this Sentinel, if you guys watched my previous video on Sentinel, at that time, he was a rank 1 level 25, but I took him up, so he is now rank 2, and he's feeling a little beefier, let me tell you. And I do plan on taking him to rank 3 eventually. Alright, now I didn't speed this up because I wanted you guys to see the load times that I was telling you about, to see just how quickly I go from fight to fight. It is crazy. No wonder some of these guys that I saw put up such crazy scores quickly. I had to work extra hard to put up scores like I did. So as you can see, the AI is still pretty dumb, which makes it more difficult because it's not as aggressive as it gets later on. That's one of the reasons that I wanted to choose pretty much champions that I was sure I was going to be able to beat this AI with. You know, in case I get hit with a L3 or something like that. But at this point, I just said, forget it. I'll get hit with an L3. Hopefully, I'll survive it. But this AI, well, you guys can see how this AI is. Very, very annoying. It's also why I don't like fighting Sentinels in AQ. Not hard, just annoying. Okay, so we've come to another breakpoint. We're at win streak 9. So now at win streak 9, what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose my top champions, not my 6 stars yet, but my top 5-star champions. And so we got Starkey, we've got Voodoo, and I'm going to also bring in Archangel, not Hyperion, but I could have brought Hyperion in as well. Alright, because at 9, the fight can be challenging and you could lose your streak if you're not careful. So this is just a formula that I've come up with, and it's worked for me throughout countless arenas. So for win streak 9, I chose 3 of my highest ranked 5 stars. Starkey is rank 5 and the other 2 are rank 4. After that, for win streak 10, I choose my 6 stars, and I only have 3 currently. Now, before I had 6 stars, I would choose the next highest 5 stars. Alright, now once we get to 11, then we have to do a little bit more thinking about who we're going to choose, because if we're not careful, we can lose our streak right here. And I'm trying to get to 12. And at 12, I'm going to switch over to my 4 stars. So for right now, what I want to do, because as you saw, they don't like to bait. So I want to choose Hyperion because he's strong. I'm going to choose Magic because she has power control. And I'm also going to choose Hawkeye because he also has power control. Now, depending on your roster, you guys will choose, you know, whoever you have, but I recommend that you choose someone that has some sort of power control, because you're going to end up dealing with an L3 otherwise, especially right about now. You can get lucky, like you saw that I got lucky a few times and they didn't throw it, but right now I'm not even playing with them. So going with power control, in fact, it makes it a little easier if they don't throw their specials. See, he didn't throw his special, so that's okay. And I'll just beat him up, no problem. And down he goes. And after this, we'll go with my, like I said, my 4 stars. And I only do my maxed out 4 stars. Only my 550s. Only 1 Fury stack. Okay. Good. Got that stun. That should be it for her. Alright. So we're not in danger of losing our streak. We will continue on. Let's see what Hawkeye can do. And since this is arena, I'm not going to even try to dodge that L1 that I knew he was going to throw. Didn't do that much damage, and I don't really care. And that's it for that. Okay. So now at win streak 12, we switch it up. And what I'm going to do at this point is I go through all of my 550s. I forget exactly how many teams I have, but it should get me up to about win streak 20, 21, somewhere around there. And once I've done that, then I go back to my 5 stars and finish those up. And I know it takes a little bit longer, but I just like going with these teams. All right, so this one here, as you see, it's up there. Their PIs are up there, but it's not crazy. Let's see. Hopefully we don't lose our streak here. We should be okay. So as you saw, these matches are tough, but they're not death matches. But this AI, as you saw right there, I actually took an L3 from Medusa. The AI just would not throw any specials at all. I really don't like this AI, but we got through it. Okay, and at this point, what we're trying to do is we're trying to get to 15, and once we get to 15, we are pretty safe not to go back to your 5 stars yet. You want to stay with the maxed out 4 stars if you can until about 17 or 18, and then you're safe to go back to your 5 stars. And if you don't have enough 550s to do that, then you may have to wait until they refresh. I used to. Man, I hate fighting that AI. It's still dumb. But we've gotten to a plateau. At win streak 15, we should be okay as far as those tough matches. So from 12 to 15 are probably the most difficult matches that we were going to face for our 4 stars. After this, we should be okay. So let's take a look. We might get one that's a little bit difficult. I do like this synergy, by the way. That's why I chose this team, Domino and Red Hulk, because, well, I'll show you guys. Yeah, see, these matches are now, pretty easy. They're 5 stars, but as you can see, they're fairly easy. All right, so at this point, I'm just going to go through all the rest of my 4 stars, and by that time, I should be at win streak 20 or more, and then I just go right back to my 5 stars, and I'll just start right from the top and work my way down. And that is pretty much how you get on the infinite streak, at least how I get on the infinite streak, because how you'll do it is a little different based on your roster. All right, let me show you what that synergy does. For heavy, look at that incinerate. That's just ridiculous damage. That's thanks to Red Hulk. So that's pretty much how I build up my infinite streak. Now, I'm not going to show you guys the basic arena, but I'll tell you how I do that, because I do it a little bit differently. In that arena, you can use your 3 and your 4 stars. So I start with my 3 stars, and all of my 3 stars are maxed out. So it doesn't really matter. I just choose ones that, I have fun playing with. And I go all the way up to win streak 12. And at that point, just like I did with the 5-star featured, I switch to my 550s. Now, of course, since I'm doing both of these arenas at the same time, when I get to 12 initially, my 550s aren't off cooldown yet, because I just used them in the 5-star feature. So I just get to 12 and then I take a break. Maybe I'll do another arena, maybe I'll go do something else while they're on cooldown. When they come off of cooldown, I use my 550s, and from that point on, I only use my 550s and my 440s. If I'm really trying to put up a crazy score, I might include my 330s, but usually I don't have to. All right, so that is going to do it, guys. I'm not going to show you guys the entire set of fights, but I will fast forward to the end so that you guys can see what score I put up after this. It took about an hour, a little bit slower than normal because I was trying to narrate and do other things while I was recording this. But generally speaking, it'll take me about 40 minutes to get through all of my 5 stars and my 550s and be safe on that infinite streak. So this is what happens when you get distracted. This is the only loss that I had during the entire run, but it is what it is. Now this is the final fight, and at this point, because I don't have even teams, I have 1 5-star left, and that's that Karnak there. So I have to choose some 4 stars. I've already used up all of my 550s, but this Corvus, he's going up to rank 5, and I also chose Vision because of the power control. So I had to pair him with some 440s, and as you can see, the fights aren't terribly difficult. So once I get done with this round, I'm actually done with all of my 5 stars and all of my 550s. So I switch over to the basic arena, and like I said earlier, I use my 3 stars, go all the way up to win streak 12, and then I just wait for the 550s to get off cooldown. And the only time that I go back into the 5-star featured arena is when the 5 stars are off cooldown or the 6 stars are off cooldown, and I'll get into that arena, run through those, and then rest again. Now I only do that when I'm trying to get a basic champion as well as get those 2,000 5-star shards. Only time I do that. Any other time, I just go for milestones in the basic, which is easy. I can do that with, once I get on the infinite streak, then I can just do that with my 440s, and I focus all my attention on the 5-star featured and get that done as soon as I can, and so I can relax later, just in case the server goes down or something else crazy happens. Now, at the end, I want you guys to take a look at that score. If I had not lost that fight to Magic earlier, I would have hit 2 million points for this round of arena. I was so upset. My little OCD kicked in. But that's going to do it, guys. If you enjoyed the video, if you found it informative, consider smashing that like button. It really helps me out. If you have not subscribed to my channel already, please consider giving me a subscription. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you thought about this video. If you have any questions, like on my mastery setup that I showed earlier, leave a comment. I will try to get to you as quickly as I can. If you would like to support this channel, take a look in my description, and I have a link to my Patreon account, and you can become a patron of this channel. Just look at that score. So close to 2 million. But oh well, you guys have a blessed day.